What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with my TCL 10 Pro review. So let's get started. So this is my TCL 10 Pro review. Now I'd like to thank TCL for being kind enough to send this phone out to me to cover here on the channel. Now all opinions expressed in this video are completely my own, based off of my personal experience with the device, and that's certainly the way that TCL wants it to be. Now TCL is making some major moves in 2020, launching several phones under their own brand name. So this device, as well as the TCL 10L, have recently been launched. I'm sure they have even bigger plans in the future. And prior to these devices, TCL did create a couple of other phones under their brand last year. They're also the company that's behind Alcatel phones. So any Alcatel phone that you see is created by TCL, and they've been doing that for at least several years. And TCL also has been making BlackBerry devices up until earlier this year when they announced that they're moving away from that. So this company certainly is not new at creating smartphones, but they're doubling down on creating devices under their own brand name, and the TCL 10 Pro is definitely a really solid attempt at that. There's a big demand in the market right now for devices that are not $1,000 and up. I know we keep seeing more and more devices in that price segment, but many people are getting tired of spending that much money on a phone. And the TCL 10 Pro is certainly very refreshing because we're getting many of the features that we know and love from a flagship at a device that is only $449. Now that's currently the price of the phone. It's possible that in the future the price might go down, so take a look at the link in the video description to see the most up-to-date price for the device. Now the TCL 10 Pro is factory unlocked and does work with GSM carriers. I've been using the phone with Cricket Wireless, which uses AT&T's network, and I've had a great experience. Now this phone features a large 6.47-inch display. The display itself is AMOLED, which is really awesome to see. So we're getting really good colors here and also very good viewing angles. Another thing that I want to mention too is that TCL has a ton of experience with creating displays since they're a very dominant company in the TV industry. So they've taken what they've learned with creating some of the best TV displays and applied that knowledge to creating smartphone displays. And certainly with the 10 Pro, it's very clear that they've managed to pull that off very successfully. Now the display here is curved, so it does remind me quite a bit of kind of the way that the Galaxy S9, for example, looks with a curved display. Now I'm personally not a huge fan of curved displays, but this display looks so good that I can certainly overlook it being curved. Now that's certainly a personal preference thing, so there might be people out there that actually like that it's curved. And if you're one of those people, let me know in the comments section below. Now this device features a 1080p display. We're getting a PPI of 398. We're getting a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, and we're getting a very good 93% screen to body ratio. So a small bezel on the bottom, also a small bezel on the top. We also have a water drop for the front-facing camera, and the front-facing camera here is 24 megapixels. Now stay tuned to later in the video as I'll show you photo and video samples from all of the cameras on the device. Now this phone comes with 128 gigabytes of internal storage, and if that's not enough for you, you can also put a micro SD card in the phone. There is no wireless charging with the TCL 10 Pro. But we do get an in-display fingerprint sensor, which is really awesome. It's very fast and very responsive, which is great. And if you want to, you can also set up face unlock in this phone, which TCL calls Face Key. Now on the back of the device, we have a quad camera setup. And by the way, isn't this material on the back extremely unique? It looks really good. It's like a frosted charcoal look here, and I'm a huge fan of it. It looks unlike anything I've ever seen before on any other smartphone. Now, not only are we getting a quad camera setup here, but we're also getting dual flash, which is very unique. But we're getting a 64 megapixel main camera, a 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a 5 megapixel depth sensing camera, and a 2 megapixel macro camera. You're of course getting portrait mode with the rear camera, but also with the front camera as well. Now internally, we're getting 6 gigabytes of RAM and the Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 processor. Now I did run a benchmark test with this device, and the score is very impressive. So I got an overall score of 220920. And based off this score and my personal usage of the phone, you're certainly going to get adequate performance here to do all of the various tasks that you typically do with a smartphone. So whether it is going on social media, making phone calls, sending text messages, watching video content, doing mid to light gaming, you're going to have no issues at all with this phone. It will certainly satisfy your needs. Now, if you're more of a power user, maybe someone who edits video on their phone, or you play highly demanding games, then you might run into some slowdowns here. But if you don't fall in that category, then you're definitely going to be very satisfied with the performance with the TCL 10 Pro. Now, video recording with the rear camera maxes out at 4K, and you can get up to 1080p for the front-facing camera. Now, the phone features a beefy 4,500 mAh internal battery, which is great. We're also getting Android 10 on here with TCL skin. Now, typically, I'm not a big fan of skins. I prefer stock Android, and this skin here certainly is based off of stock Android. They're certainly not trying to turn Android into something else like some other companies have done, such as Samsung or Xiaomi, which I don't have a problem necessarily with their skins. I just really like TCL's approach. So they basically took stock Android here, but they've added a bunch of really cool and useful features. So they don't modify Android just for the sake of changing it, but rather they've taken the best features of stock Android and added in even more practical, usable features. For example, there's a dedicated button on the left side here that you can customize to do a variety of different functions on the phone and open up an app just with the touch of this button. So as an example, I set this up to activate Snapchat, and you can see when I tap on the button, it immediately pulls up Snapchat. So if there's a certain app that you're always using, you can use this button right here to start that app. You can also program it to double tap on that button and activate a different app, and you can also use the button to activate Google Assistant. But unlike other devices that I've used, where you're limited to just Google Assistant, or on a Samsung phone just using Bixby, that is not the case here with the TCL 10 Pro. They definitely give the user the ability to use that in any way they want. In addition to that, the launcher has some really cool features too. So for example, you can actually sort these apps based on the icon color. So that's really cool. It's like a rainbow. Pretty awesome. They also have this little tab here on the right side. And when you pull that over, you can put your favorite apps here. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. You can also put your contacts here. The phone even features a built-in ruler, so that's really cool as well. And there's just so many different ways you can customize the phone, but none of them are gimmicky. They even have a button here that you can tap on to conveniently lock the display. And then of course you can use that really cool fingerprint sensor to get back into the phone. Now TCL has pledged to give this phone Android 11, which is a nice thing to see. Definitely cool to see that we will be getting a newer version of Android beyond Android 10 in the future. The device also features NFC, which is really good to see too. So if you are someone that's really big into making mobile payments, then there you go. But overall, it's a really nice piece of hardware. We have a metal band running around the sides of the phone, giving it a very premium touch. I'm pretty sure that if you handed this phone off to a stranger and asked them how much it is, they would guess that it's in the price range with flagship devices like the Galaxy S20 and iPhone 11. Now taking a look at the left side of the phone, we have that multifunction button. Then on the right side of the phone, we have the power button and volume button. Then on the top, we have the noise canceling microphone, IR blaster, and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. Then on the bottom of the phone, we have the slot for the microSD card and SIM card. We have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, the microphone, and the speaker. Then on the back of the phone, we have the camera module and the TCL logo. But I like how clean and minimalist everything looks with the TCL 10 Pro. Now the TCL 10 Pro is a beast for social media. Instagram runs super smooth here. You can easily zoom in on various pictures. You can go into your stories too and see all the various content on there. And then when you want to, you can swipe over and record your own content. So I'm recording a video right now with the TCL 10 Pro. So I'm recording a video right now with the TCL 10 Pro. So that's really cool. 3 gigabytes of RAM with the phone and the MediaTek Helio P22. Now, if you're not too familiar with the MediaTek Helio line of processors, now this phone is great for watching video content. The only downside is that you just have the one speaker here on the side, so no sound comes out of the earpiece when you're watching video content. That is a little bit different from some devices, such as the Moto G Stylus, for example. And I wish they would have done it here with the 10 Pro, but still nonetheless, the speaker does get nice and loud, and watching videos on here is an excellent experience. You can of course crop in if you want for a more immersive experience, so this phone is great for watching any sort of video content. The phone is also excellent for browsing the web, so articles and the content within those articles really pop, so it's great for reading text. Images just look really good on here, so definitely a really good web browsing experience with the TCL 10 Pro. Now here is the box that the TCL 10 Pro does come in, so a really nice design here. We have a picture of the device itself and then the name. We'll open this up and see what all we get. So in the box, we do get a SIM card removal tool. We also get a packet here, so I'll open up this packet and we'll check out all the contents inside. So we have some literature. So we have a safety and precautions guide, also a quick start guide here. And we also get a plastic case included as well. So kind of a sleek case here with TCL's slogan. So that's really awesome to have. In addition to that, we have a couple of other items in the box. So we have a USB-C cable for charging and data transfer. Another nice thing to have there. And we also have a 15-watt TCL branded wall adapter. So as I mentioned before, the phone has been a pleasure to use on Cricket Wireless. It's worked really well. Call quality is completely fine. Text messages send nice and quick as well. So certainly no issues at all with using the standard phone features with the device. Now the TCL 10 Pro takes really impressive looking photos. I'm really happy with it overall. So whether you're using the standard camera or the ultra wide angle camera, the depth sensing camera, or even the macro camera, you're gonna get very great looking pictures. Now the saturation, at least going with the auto mode, is a little bit on the higher side, but I don't mind that because it does make the pictures really pop quite a bit. So I'm more than satisfied with the photo quality from the TCL 10 Pro. So there's certainly nothing to be concerned about. I would definitely give it a big thumbs up. But let's now take a look at some video samples from the phone. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a front-facing video test from the TCL 10 Pro. So let me know what you think of the quality. It is pretty bright outside right now. It's about the middle of the day, so that's why everything in the background is so lit up. But yeah, definitely let me know what you think of the microphone quality. Would you use this phone for vlogging? Really curious to know what you think. What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, coming at you with a 1080p test video from the TCL 10 Pro. Now it is very windy outside right now, so keep that in mind. But let me know what you think of the video quality from the device. I'll also do a test in 1080p as well. And here's a video sample in 1080p with the TCL 10 Pro. So definitely let me know what you think. We do have very quick autofocus in video mode, which is awesome. And here's an ultra wide angle video at 1080p with the TCL 10 Pro. So certainly a bit wider. Definitely let me know what you think about the video and audio quality. So in conclusion, is the TCL 10 Pro worth buying? I think it's a very solid device. One of the things about this phone that I feel like definitely makes it stand out is the software experience. I like how they've added all of these various software features, and by the way, I haven't even had a chance to discuss many of these features because otherwise this video would be way longer than it even is. So I am going to be making a separate tips and tricks video about the TCL 10 Pro that really lays out many of the key features that separate this device from its competitors out there. But I would say that the software experience, paired up with some really solid hardware here, is really what sets this phone apart. Because for example, there are other devices that offer slightly better performance for the price, such as the ZTE Axon 10 Pro for example, but the problem with that phone is that the software is just not good. So at $449, I do feel like we should probably be getting a slightly better processor than the 675, like maybe the 730 from Qualcomm would have been nice for $449. But I am willing to overlook things like that in exchange for the solid build that we're getting here and the excellent software. So in conclusion, is the TCL 10 Pro worth buying? I certainly think it is. You know, this is a very competitive part of the market, but I think this phone from TCL is a super solid phone that's going to satisfy pretty much anyone that uses it. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be helpful. Again, if the price happened to go down since I made this video, then you'll see the most up-to-date pricing, the link in the video description. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Kevin here. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, also, let me know what phones you'd like to see me compare the TCL 10 Pro to. But again, take care, have a great day, and see you soon.